7 fragrances I wore this week. Some of them are brand new releases. If you want to find out more, stay tuned. What's going on, guys? My name is Neeb. Welcome back to Aromatics. Like I said in the intro, we've got 7 fragrances. There's quite a few new releases. We've even got the brand new batch for Creed Aventus, the F000558. We've got my fragrance, which is now back in stock, Coconut Daiquiri, sphinxfragrances.com. Use code Aromatics for 15% off. And then we've got another Lattafa Sublime. So heavy hitters, and let's just go ahead and start off with the first fragrance of this week, which was King of Diamonds by Fragrance World. And this is almost a spitting image, you guys, of Aventus' Narcosis. I did this discovery set maybe about 2 weeks ago, and out of that discovery set, I decided to buy a full bottle of Vanilla Oud. The second fragrance that I was contemplating or considering buying was Narcosis, and literally within a week after I finished that video, this was produced. This being King of Diamonds. This fragrance is about 90 to 95% close. I got about 8 to 10 hours with this fragrance. It's freaking amazing. The only problem with this is that I did have a defect with mine, and I think because of shipping and stuff, the atomizer snapped off. Regardless of the fact, I was still able to manage some squeezes out of this bottle, and I was able to wear it pretty easily. And if I want to, I can decant this one pretty easily as well. Great fragrance. You get a lot of realistic mango and a cup of coffee. It literally smells like you're eating mangoes. And as you get to the bottom of the mango, you get more woody nuances, which really draws the rind or the flesh, not the flesh, rather, the rind of the mango peel. And you get that warm cup of coffee that's sitting on the side with cardamom in it. There's a cardamom cup of coffee that's warm, and you get that warmth from the amber. I just don't really see myself finding occasions to wear this other than like in the winter time or snuggling and cuddling and things of that nature. This is creamy, but it's not lactonic, so it's a creamy mango. The rhubarb really just helps the mango stand out a bit more. All in all, this is a great fragrance. I give this one a solid 8 to 8.5 out of 10, everything considered. The price point is fantastic, performance fantastic, it's just wearability for this one. Nevertheless, regardless, for the price that I got this one at, and you can get this one at Oud Store, with the code Aromatics, you get 10% off, or it's Aromatics 10 is the code. It's worth it. Performance, scent, very niche. Niche just means specialty. So this is a fragrance that's specialized in what it's doing. It's not really resembling anything else. I'm talking about the original. This is obviously a clone. So it's a very different type of fragrance. So if you want something a little bit more artistic on a budget, that's absolutely going to get you there. Next day, that same week, I decided to go with another Aventus clone, and this is a fruity batch Aventus clone. So virtually no birch, but you still get this woodiness from the oak moss. You get the ambergris, the musk, and this is an older one, and it's Insurrection 2 by Rayan Tradition. I drained this bad boy. It doesn't really perform the best. I get about 5 hours out of that one, tops, but it's a pretty good take on the Aventus, the fruity batch of Aventus. That's really all there is to say about this. It's got like this black currant, vanilla, patchouli, oak moss, and vanilla, which I already said, but regardless, it's okay. It's not bad. So rating, I would give this one about 7.5 out of 10, which led me into the next day. I decided to pick this one up as well, and this is from Lattafa, and it's probably the worst one in my collection. I'm not saying it's a bad smelling fragrance. For those of you that own this, it's really not the worst thing in the world, but Al Dur Almaknoon, I didn't get more than 2 to 4 hours with this thing, and it's a little bit strange with the presentation, but if you like it, you like it. It's got this Club de Nuit type of cap, except there are no studs. It's just dug into. Let's see if we can get that. There we go. So dug in rather than a stud. But all in all, this is probably the dustiest version of it. It almost smells like the fragrance is coated in dust, and it's a fruity batch. So what does that mean? It's likely that they overdosed the musk and the oak moss in that fragrance. More musk and oak moss than anything, and then you have the backdrop of fruits. The next day, I decided to go with a new release. I got a lot of requests for this one, and a lot of people were talking about this. And this is Bade'e Al Oud Sublime. So Bade'e Al Oud means the originator of oud, or the beginning of oud. And this is the Sublime. This is the newest flanker. You've got notes of like lychee, berries, and things of that nature. Vanilla, maybe. This is supposed to be a dupe, or the rumor is that it's a dupe of Kayali's Eden Apple. So I'll tell you guys that as far as the notes go, it really does align with the notes in that fragrance. I'm not really sure if it is a dupe of that, but we're going to be talking about the scent. This scent in general smells really nice. It smells like a red berry gummy bear. It does have like this fruit punch vibe. It smells like a red berries and fruit punch gummy bear. That's really what it is. So with that being said, this does lean more feminine than it does masculine, but I wore this fragrance and I got a compliment while wearing this fragrance at hour 8 at the gym. This performs like a champ. This is beastly on me. It's really unfortunate that some people might have gotten duds, because there have been people that are reporting the opposite, and there's really no in between. There are people that are reporting beast mode and people that are reporting just duds. So yeah, mine is absolutely beast mode, so I'm happy for that for sure. I got a compliment from a gentleman that said I smelled good, which is a positive note, but the one thing that I have to admit is that this smells like a body spray for women. Granted, it still smells fantastic. This doesn't take any credibility away from this fragrance, but it really does smell like a body spray for women in a cologne or perfume form. So it is stronger. It's much stronger than that. This is probably the best version of a body spray for women. And I'm talking about the DNA of the fragrance. I'm not talking about the quality. I was honestly expecting this one to be a lot weaker because some of the reports, and I had planned wearing another fragrance, but I genuinely could not. I was washing my hands, I was hand sanitizing, I couldn't get the sucker off, so that's a plus. All things considered, despite the fact that it smells like a body spray, it does smell like the best version of a body spray. That one is great. It is a bit more feminine. Gentlemen can still rock this one. I personally, I'm not gonna be reaching for it over other fragrances, but I still will find myself wearing this one. 9 out of 10 for me. Next up on this list made me almost cry, honestly, because I spent damn near 300 bucks on Creed Aventus. King Creed let me down. I went before the king and spent that cash, and I quickly got up and sliced his freaking head off because he didn't give me more than 2 hours. It's absolutely pathetic. I know I'm gonna offend a lot of you fanboys out there, but listen, hold it. I'm a fanboy too, man. I love Creed Aventus. I loved, with a D, past tense, Creed Aventus, because it feels like this is not Creed Aventus anymore, gentlemen. This is not. But the good news is that a lot of those dupes and clones that are sub 50 bucks are better than this. So let's keep it moving. The next fragrance I wore, I finally decided to treat myself and wear something that I actually wanted to wear, and it's my fragrance. And in celebration of it being back in stock, I pulled it out. Coconut Daiquiri. Coconut Daiquiri is just amazing. It's fun vibes. This will literally transport you to a tropical island. The Maldives, you're sipping on lemon, lime, sugar, coconut, and rum. And for those of you that don't drink, like myself, it's a virgin one, okay? Astaghfirullah, haram. So this fragrance for me, honestly, I get a minimum of 8 hours. On clothing, 12 hours, 12 plus hours. On clothing, it's a beast. On skin, 8 hours. But in all honesty, it smells amazing. I don't really get this suntan lotion coconut. I just love this fragrance, obviously. And this is a fragrance that I made with Sphinx. If you haven't checked it out, definitely suggest you do so. Coconut Daiquiri, you can find it on sphinxfragrances.com. I'll link it down in the description. And you can use my code AROMATICS to save 15% off. So the next day I decided to go with another fragrance that I also did a relatively new discovery video on, and it comes from the house of Malbrum Parfums. So Malbrum Parfums is a niche brand that specializes in fragrances. And one of the fragrances that I really enjoyed is called Bagheera. Bagheera is a fragrance that, in my opinion, is similar to something like Baby Cat, not as animalic. So I love the fact that it has that suede and leather combination, and it has this velvety iris. It treads in that category or in the family of like makeup bag type of iris without going fully makeup bag, so it's a little bit reserved, and it really just helps draw a more velvet texture to the suede and leather. But from the top to the dry down, it's not the focus of the fragrance, it's more of an enhancement. But Bagheera lasted such a long time on me, guys. I only sprayed it about 5 times. 1 on each side of the neck, 1 on the back of the neck, and then 1 on the shoulder and 1 on the shoulder. And it was so loud, it was so strong, that's all I could smell for like a good 6 hours. It was still there past the 6 hours, but it was just radiating. And eventually nearing the end, it smelled like I was in a suede or a leather factory. That's really what it smelled like. So naturalistic smelling suede. There was a little bit of an animalic facet, so it's almost like you freshly produced that suede, if you know where I'm going with that. I don't want to be too descriptive because it's really not a pretty image to draw. But the suede is fresh. There's still some animalic facets to that suede, and you're going to get that iris note. It is very different from Baby Cat. I don't want you guys to go out there and purchase this fragrance thinking it's going to smell like it. It really lacks a lot of that depth and the sweetness. It's not as bold, but if that's a problem for you, how bold Baby Cat is, or that benzene or gasoline accord, then this is more of a fragrance that's going to be a little bit more tame and reserved for that. I think that this fragrance deserves a full review out of the entire sample set. this is the one that I might actually purchase a full bottle with. Bagheera by Malbrum Parfums was pretty impressionable. I don't want to draw any resemblances to Baby Cat. This is a completely different fragrance, but I wanted to draw some kind of familiarity for you guys. Those were 7 fragrances I wore this week. Let me know down in the comments what fragrance you wore this week that really stained your brain, and until the next video, peace.